often do you like to work with other photographers?
Hey, John Goldsmith.
What's up, man?
Hey, dude, looking good, brother.
We're gonna keep on recording here. Now you're
I
in
know.
this. And
I couldn't resist.
Dude, that was awesome.
What's up, man?
Looking so so good.
You know, going out in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, what are you shooting with? I got to see this. Oh, look at that! You've hidden it. It looks like a Canon 5D Mark II.
Wow, he knows his cameras.
Right?
Got the pancakes.
Yeah, you got it.
You got the bacon in the back pocket too.
Do I?
Right?
Do I have bacon back there? Jewish bacon?
Oh yeah, dude.
Why don't you introduce yourself to my followers here?
Who are your followers?
I'm BigHeadTaco.com.
Awesome. Okay, I'm John Goldsmith, living in Vancouver.
And what do you do for a living, John?
Photographer.
Yeah, and what style of photography do you like doing?
Street photography.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm surprised you and I have never crossed paths.
I know. Can you believe it?
But we have such a diverse city with so many. I shoot with my Ricoh GR.
But where do you go?
Oh, where do I go? I hang around Strathcona,
Okay.
Gastown,
Yeah.
downtown East Side.
Awesome.
I rarely venture into the fancier areas, but anyways, once the video's over, we should exchange numbers and
sounds
such.
good.
But it's awesome that you have included yourself into
Well,
here.
I saw you guys walking down the street.
And who's that crazy? Those two cool Asian guys.
I knew who this guy was.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I know who
Asian
you are.
tourist
Yeah.
and walking down the street.
Stalking my Vancouver. Our Vancouver, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm very happy to have him here.
John Goldsmith is probably one of, to me, the best street photographer in Vancouver.
Wow.
After Fred Herzog. I mean, that Fred Herzog guy's pretty good, but after that, John Goldsmith.
Oh, excellent.
And you know, I love his sense of surrealism.
Yeah.
Kind of like a sense of humor, but sometimes it can be quite dark. And also, I like the way that, you know, a lot of people complain that, oh, you know, I'm so busy, I got a family, I can't shoot street photography, but you've been able to incorporate your lifestyle and also your children in your street photography. And I think that's something really inspirational.
Gets harder. Less time for street.
Yeah.
But you're more efficient with your time, I guess.
I am more. You have to be more efficient, but it's a challenge.
I run into a lot of street photographers in the evenings, like after work hours, like between, and I like it because it's quiet. You can do interviews like this. If we were here 3 or 4 hours ago on a Monday or a Friday, we couldn't do this.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, to be honest, I've been most of the work that I've done in the last, say, 7 years has been with my family in some way or another. I mean, there are times when I go out and just shoot.
Yes.
But a lot of the time it's just, you know, going out and shooting with my family.
So how have you been able to stay?
Wowzers.
How have you been able to stay inspired and, you know, prolific throughout the years?
You know, bring a camera with you, right? When you see some guy walking down the street that looks, you know, kind of interesting, you can, you know, make some surreal oddity of the scene. Just start shooting.
Yeah,
Not usually so rapid like I was doing.
yeah, no, that's pretty good. And you know, like you have I think you have a consistent vision and a voice in your photos. Would you say that's more from your editing process, or is more like what you see that interests you, or
Both, obviously both, yeah. But I mean, I think you have a lot more control on the post side of things, you know, the editing. I mean, like any photographer, there's a lot of stuff that I don't like that I take, right? You can't help that.
Yeah.
Right? But you can do your best to try to get a better eye, refine what you're doing, and you start to see patterns in what you do. And I can totally look back 7 years ago and start to see sort of, if I have a voice now, to start to see where that voice started coming from. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's evolved, but in some ways I think that what I'm interested in has always been there.
So what are you interested in?
Working with Eric.
Yeah, working with Eric. Are you gonna
And work with Big
Vancouver
Head
more?
Taco.
Dude, for sure, man.
Now you have to.
They have to.
Now you have to.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like to play with the idea of reality, because I think for so long photography has been viewed as real, as truth, and I mean, obviously people have explored that for a long time with photography, but I still like kind of perturbing that idea and putting my take on the aesthetics and sort of the modern aspects of life. So where we are now, in terms of environment, in terms of people, in terms of inhabiting a city.
Well, so you've been here in Vancouver for quite a while now.
10 years, more than 10.
But then you grew up in the States, in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
And then you came to Vancouver. How have you seen Vancouver change and evolve over the years? And I guess, you know, where do you like to shoot street photography here in Vancouver?
I mean, Vancouver has changed quite a lot in 10 years, being an Olympic city. It has changed immensely. And coming from Chicago, actually, this is a very small city to me. And I still remember going to grocery store, like my first week or 2 here, and thinking, wow, people move really slowly. It's like,
we just talked about the East Coast, the West Coast dichotomy.
Yeah, even
didn't we?
Midwest is that way, right?
Yeah.
So, and that, you're standing there, you're trying to get around the people who are buying milk, and you're just thinking, you've come here every week, and you buy probably the same container of milk. You can keep walking and just grab it as you go, and it's, I just think, what, just get it and go, and it's, So it has changed a lot. It's still kind of small, but even today I was thinking, wow, Vancouver's starting to look bigger, feel a little bit bigger. I would say it's in sort of that awkward teenage phase. It's not quite a big city. It's not like, it doesn't have the vibe of Chicago yet. It's not that big. And
or Toronto or Seattle, nothing like that.
Seattle's a little bit bigger. I still think of Seattle as kind of
mid-size.
Mid-size, but even it's not a teenager because it's sort of existed more as a city, but it's also not. It's not big. Right?
Well, West Coast is, it took a long time for the Pilgrims to make their way all the way across. So the older buildings out east, there's more older institutions.
Yeah, exactly.
Word on the street is, John, you're really into coffee.
Oh, I love coffee.
So what are your coffee
Come on,
recommendations?
I walked right by the best I told you what it was.
The coffee bar?
No, I don't know about the coffee bar. I haven't been there.
Okay.
Revolver?
Yeah, Terry's here.
It's okay.
You know the owner, Terry?
Yeah, I don't know if I've known.
Well, I'll introduce you to him.
He's here.
Okay,
Yeah, we can
awesome.
introduce him. Yeah.
That's cool.
So Revolver.
That is one of the best ones.
Revolver is the best.
Matchstick is very good.
Matchstick.
Too. Yeah, I mean those are right up there. Those are probably my two favorites.
The one in Chinatown, Matchstick.
Yeah, there are two. That's the second one, but that
and the
one's really
first one on Fraser there.
And they're some of the best croissants. I'm going to go on record and say this. I'm sorry, Parisians, but you need to come to Vancouver. And I won't say why, but on the subject of French food.
Hey, Eric, you've hijacked my interview of you, and you brought in John, which is all right. Yeah. I love this.
No, we got to continue with John, and we'll finish mine later. So, John, you've been in the street photography game for quite a while now. What is advice you wish someone told you when you started off street photography?
Keep shooting. Take more shots than you think. I think that's the challenge with film, actually. I know a lot of people will say film helps you shoot better, maybe smarter, because you're slower and you're more sort of thoughtful about what you're doing. But and I started shooting with film. But in learning digital and learning how to process it in a way that I like it took a while, probably 5 years. But I have to admit that I think the growth curve with digital is
quicker,
faster.
Of course.
It's much faster.
You go through your first 10,000 images faster.
Yeah, and your next 10,000 are your next worst.
Yes.
Right. So it's really, you really have to keep shooting more photos than you think. Because I read this in an interview online. It's not even my words, but it's just the advice that somebody else gave, and I can't remember what her name is now, but more shots than you think, because you will, when you get home, you never have enough photos.
So if you see a good potential scene, how many photos will you take? How long would you work
it? It could be one if you feel like it just went, but if I'm really working it, maybe 15. Depends. When I'm trying to do these geometry things, trying to get all the lines to come together and trying to get the people where I want them, and I see something in my head, but I don't quite see it on the street yet, then I might take 10 to 15 shots.
So what's your keeper rate, if you don't mind me asking?
Keeper rate? I have no idea.
It's random.
I have 150,000 photos in my library. That's after whatever, 10, I don't know, something like 10 years. Keeper rate? I have no idea, to be honest. It gets better though.
Would you say, like,
gets better.
In terms of all the photos you've taken, how many photos are you really proud of?
I'm, a handful, like most, right? If you're really lucky to get 5 or 10 a year that you're happy with, not super like prideful of, but you're happy with 5 or 10.
And last question. So, contemporary street photographers you recommend people check out?
Who?
Yeah. So, who's for people watching the video who want to discover more street photographers, who would you recommend checking out?
I would actually not recommend one person. I would recommend. There are so many people and groups, collectives doing good work that I would actually recommend just checking out what's being done out there. Because I don't think. There are people who have a coherent voice and who are doing. Good, consistent book material and project material, and that's the kind of work that I'm trying to go towards. But I still think there's so much amazing work that
So any collectives on the top of your head?
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
I'm not
That's a nice, safe way of very good.
So where can more people check out your work, John?
JohnGoldsmithPhotography.com.
Excellent. And yours, Eric?
EricKimPhotography.com.
Very good. Awesome. And this is Take from Big Head Taco. And you know what? You remind me of Alambi. You're like Alambi. So, hello, Cindy. You can't see her, but she's Eric's wonderful friend, girlfriend.